Well, hello, Nats fans, and welcome to another edition of DoDCast Postgame Show. I'm Drew Douglas, and I'll be your host for tonight. And boy, what a disappointing game that was. The Nationals dropped the second game of the series, 7-6, and after getting off to a huge 6-0 lead in the second inning, the bullpen came in and gave up 7 runs in the third, fourth, and fifth innings. And the big story from tonight was after Max Scherzer, who's the National starting pitcher tonight, he homered his first career home run, a 3-run blast over the Clevelander in deep left field. After he homered, he came in for the second inning through one warm-up pitch. It was a wild pitch, and then immediately came over the dugout and said he's done. So he originally, it looked like it was a neck injury, and the Nationals broke their policy of waiting until after the game to announce that it was indeed a neck injury. Max Scherzer slept funny last night, had some neck spasms, thought he could pitch through it, and turns out it was worse than they had expected, and he was only able to go one inning tonight. So it was unfortunate that Scherzer was only able to go one inning, and the Nationals had to use most of their bullpen tonight. The only guys that didn't pitch were Ryan Madson, Sean Doolittle, and Enny Romero, since Brandon Kinsler still hasn't joined the team. He's expected to join the team tomorrow, but just a lot of bullpen usage. Wasn't exactly pretty. Maybe some mismanagement from Dusty tonight with who he decided to use from the bullpen and when. But Max Scherzer, he was only able to throw the one inning, didn't allow a hit or any run. So he looked good in his one inning. And apparently it was bothering him, and he aggravated it more on the home run and his celebration in the dugout. So hopefully he's able to make his next start. But me personally, I wouldn't push it with a 14-game lead coming into tonight. I guess now it's down to 13 games with the loss. You got a huge lead in the division. You don't really need Scherzer now. If he needs to go on the DL just to get right, that's fine. And as long as he's healthy for the postseason, that's what I think really matters. So they can definitely get along without him in the meantime. So after Scherzer came in, Matt Grace, he came in the second inning. Although he's not a traditional longman, he is serving as a longman with no longman in the bullpen. He came in through 53 pitches over a 2 2/3 inning, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned with 3 walks and a strikeout. And Matt Grace has really looked good, and he's typically thrown a lot of strikes, but he just didn't have his usual command tonight with the 3 walks. He's pitched a lot lately. Maybe it's starting to catch up to him. He's never really thrown this much in such a short period of time. So with his kind of new role as a longman, he's been getting quite a bit of use. Sammy Solis came in after him. Maybe this is the last we see of Sammy Solis for a while, with Brandon Kinsler being activated tomorrow. He came in through 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, 2 runs, which were charged to him after Matt Albers gave up the 3-run homer to Marcell Ozuna on 1 walk and a strikeout. Like I said, after Solis, Dusty brought in Albers. I really agree with the move. Albers has proved to be better when coming into a clean inning. So, bring him into a jam and having to face a tough hitter like Ozuna, the move didn't pay off. Albers got behind 2-0, and to a hitter like Ozuna, who's such a free swinger, 2-0, you got to throw him, you'd think, a fastball and make sure it's a strike, so it's going to get a lot of the plate. And sure enough, Marcell Ozuna made him pay by hitting a go-ahead 3-run home run. Albers didn't really look too good tonight. He only went 2/3 of an inning. They brought in Oliver Perez. He pitched well. He gave up 1 hit and struck out 1 over 1 inning. And then Joe Blanton came in, and he threw the final 2 innings, allowed 1 hit with 2 strikeouts. So as a whole, the bullpen didn't look great tonight, but you didn't see your best arms like Madsen and Doolittle, and Romero's pitched well. He didn't throw tonight. But with all the usage tonight, it really makes Gio Gonzalez's start from last night that much more important, because after the doubleheader Sunday, when everyone pitched out of the bullpen except for Matt Albers, and then getting into Miami late, Gio Gonzalez went out and was able to throw 8 innings. The only reliever that was used last night was Doolittle, who got tonight off. So that was huge. If Gio wasn't able to go deep last night, then you used bullpen a lot last night and then tonight. So the fact that Gio Gonzalez was able to give the bullpen a day off was huge last night. Check the chat a little bit. Jude Joker said he's still happy because his favorite player hit an absolute bomb. And yeah, that sure was fun to watch. Tonight was Scherzer's first home run of his career. I saw John Lester also hit the first home run of his career. So 2 veterans both hitting their first home runs. That was pretty cool. And it was just cool to see Scherzer, how excited he was and how excited everyone in the dugout was for him. That was a big homer. It gave him the 3-run homer. It gave him a big lead at the time. Looked like it'd be a good game tonight with Scherzer on the mound, but It didn't work out. It happens over a 162 game season. Seth Ross said he forgot Matt Albers was still on the team. When was the last time he pitched? I believe he last pitched on Saturday against Colorado. Like I said, he's the only guy who didn't pitch Sunday in that doubleheader. So you have to double check that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the last time he was pitched was that Saturday game before the doubleheader. Judah Joker said he wasn't going to tweet it, but he had the impression that it wasn't serious. Max is tough, but he's smart and cares about the team. He's not going to pull a Coda Glover. And yeah, absolutely. That's huge for Max. You see what Coda did, as Judah Joker pointed out. He didn't tell the team that he was injured, and now we really don't know when he's coming back because he tried to pitch through various injuries, and it got to the point where he's unable to pitch now. So Scherzer, while he is a big competitor, he knows that the Nats have a huge lead right now, and they need him healthy in the postseason if this team is going to win their first ever postseason series. Right now, while you do like to win games, you're pretty much guaranteed the division. So if Max goes out and tries to pitch through neck injury, it turns into something more serious and he has to miss a significant period of time, then it's really hurting the team. See, that was very mature of Max to, let Dusty know, I can't do it tonight. Hopefully he'll be able to make his next start or just be back in the near future. Seth said, so the question is who will pitch tomorrow? And yeah, when I started this, I don't know if Dusty has announced it yet, but when I started this, they hadn't announced it. People were speculating maybe AJ Cole tomorrow is his day to pitch, and Syracuse added a pitcher, Esmil Rogers, today. So I'm thinking it'll be AJ Cole, but we'll have to wait until the official announcement. Ricky said, would think Grace goes before Solis. Yeah, I don't know. I assume you mean Grace going down. He has pitched a lot, and so maybe you send him down, clear the roster spot, and he comes back up. Comes back up soon when he's rested, because with so many guys being thrown tonight, you really need anyone who's rested for tomorrow and then the big series against the Cubs. Yeah, and Ricky also said Dan Colco tweeted Dusty said Scherzer will be evaluated tomorrow. Started feeling neck stiffness 2 days ago. So yeah, I don't think it's really that serious of an injury. Hopefully he'll be back in the near future. But like I said, that's definitely a mature move for Max to tell them that tell the team that he was injured and couldn't go tonight. And then Seth Ross said maybe we make a move overnight for a starter. Yeah, this is they are past the non-waiver trade deadline, but you can make trades through the end of August. The player has to pass through waivers, so we'll have to see what they do. They are really tapping into their starting pitching depth with they got Justin Turner and AJ Cole left in AAA. Eric Fetty's up with the team right now, so maybe they make a move for a starter, but it definitely wouldn't be tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then getting into the offense a little bit, they had that huge sixth inning, which was started off by back-to-back doubles from Dana Murphy and Anthony Rendon. And then Max Scherzer hit the 3-run homer. Howie Kendrick hit a 2-run homer. And Howie Kendrick was really the MVP of this offense tonight. He went 5 for 5 with a homer. He had a couple singles. So that was a huge game for him tonight. It was the second 5-hit game of his career. The first one was back in 2010, so it's been a while. But since coming to Washington, he's really been an outstanding player offensively. So this was a big move from Rizzo, kind of under the radar. He's not the big flashy move. He's not a big sexy name, but he really has played well. And tonight he was in the 2-hole, so Dusty obviously has a lot of faith in him, and rightfully so when you go 5 for 5 and lead the offense. I saw a stat tonight after that third inning before the Harper single in the ninth. The offense, other than Howie Kendrick, had gone 0 for 21. So Howie Kendrick had a great night, and nobody else really did anything after the third inning. So it was good to see Kendrick go 5 for 5. And you think once Worth comes back from the injury, he takes back the starting spot in left field, but he's 38. He's coming off of an injury. Maybe he gets a little extra rest than a normal player. And to have Howie Kendrick be able to play left field so well, it's a huge move. And then his versatility, he can also play infield. So with guys like Trey Turner being injured right now, or if you want to give Dana Murphy a day off, he could play second. He's played third and first. He hasn't played too much in the corners, but he is capable of playing. So his versatility, I think, is huge. So if you're going 5 for 5, like if you hit, they're definitely going to find a spot for you. So hopefully he's able to continue to play well as he has in his short time here with the Nationals. Some other players, Wilmer Difo went 5 for 5 with a run scored and a strikeout. Bryce Harper went 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. He's been striking out a lot lately, maybe a little too much for my liking, but he was hot. He had that 19-game hitting streak. And then he did get the hit in the 9th inning to extend the game to Ryan Zimmerman, who unfortunately couldn't get the job done. But just to give him a chance, give your cleanup hitter and all-star first baseman a shot to win the game and just put the team in a good position to win, I thought that was big. Daniel Murphy went 1 for 4 with a run scored. He had the double, like I said earlier. Anthony Rendon went 1 for 3 with a run and a walk. He also had the double. And Brian Goodwin, who has been leading off quite a bit lately, he was moved down to the 8 hole today with Wilmer Defoe sliding up to lead off and Howie Kendrick in the 2 hole. Goodwin went 1 for 3 with a run and a walk out of the 8 hole. So this is a solid lineup. They didn't really have a great night tonight other than that 1 inning, but I wouldn't really worry about it too much. Just 1 through 8, it's really, I think it's one of the best lineups in the league. So it's been a lot of fun to watch this offense on a nightly basis. Check the chat. Yeah, Seth Ross said, "Happy birthday, Brandon Kinsler." The Nationals just acquired him yesterday, and today was his 33rd birthday, so he'll be joining the team tomorrow. Maybe the team will do a little something for him, but I'm just excited to see him come in and pitch and see how those roles shake out with Kinsler, Doolittle, and Madsen in the back of the bullpen with all having closing experience. We'll get a little bit into the Marlins tonight. The Marlins pitchers, Chris O'Grady got the start for them. He's kind of a local boy. He went to college at George Mason in Fairfax, Virginia. And he, in the first inning, he didn't give up any runs. He gave a single to, of course, Howie Kendrick. But he threw 25 pitches. I thought the Nats did a great job of seeing pitches. This is the first time they've seen him. It was only his 5th career MLB start, so they haven't seen too much of him other than watching film. And so that was big to see 25 pitches. I said hopefully they'd start getting some offense going the second time around once they had seen him once, and boy, did they. He ended up only going 3 innings, allowed 7 hits, 6 runs with 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. So it's not a great start for O'Grady, but the bullpen really came in and bailed him out. Ellington came in through an inning, only allowed 1 hit. Dustin McGowan came in through 2 innings, didn't allow a hit but had a walk. He got the win. He improved to 7-1. Drew Steckenrider came in through an inning, allowed 1 hit. Junichi Tazawa came in for the 8th. He got his 5th hold of the year. And Brad Ziegler came in. I would assume he's now the closer with A.J. Ramos on the Mets and Kyle Bearclaw injured. He got his first save of the year. He threw 1 inning, allowed the 2 hits, but managed to wiggle out of that by getting Zimmerman to ground out to third to end the game. So, yeah, Chris O'Grady didn't have a great start, but the bullpen came in and threw 6 shutout innings. So that was big for the Marlins bullpen. I think if you're looking for a positive, they did pitch nearly everyone from their bullpen tonight. Tomorrow, Vince Worley, who we saw a little bit in spring training, he's not having a great year. He's starting for them. Maybe the Nats get to him early, and the Marlins have to go into that bullpen, which is going to be tired from throwing so much tonight. So maybe we see the Nationals have a big night offensively tomorrow night before they head to Chicago. So that'll definitely be something to keep an eye on. Back in the chat, Judah Joker said Michael A. Taylor is almost back. Yeah, he's been rehabbing in Potomac, so we'll get into what he did a little bit later. So it's good to see that he's rehabbing. Judah Joker said, he also said, unrelated, I'm enjoying the Dave and FP mix on Mazin. Yeah, absolutely. I love listening to Dave Jagler and Charlie Slows, the radio team, and I'm a big fan of Dave Jagler. I like them personally more than Bob and FP. So yeah, it's been fun to listen to Dave. I know he's here for this series and then the series in Chicago. So I hope Bob Carpenter's enjoying his time off. But in the meantime, it's been a lot of fun to listen to them. And he also pointed out, imagine the 8th, 9th combo with Steckenrider and Asher Wojo, who's pitching for Cincinnati. And those are probably 2 of the better names in the league. So can't imagine having to tweet those out 19 times a year with the Marlins being in the division. Ricky said, Scherzer says this happened before, just slept weird. We'll get treatment, anti-inflammatories. Doesn't think it's a big deal by any means. That's from Dan Kolko of Mazin. So, yeah, I think most people, they have experiences where you sleep weird, the next day your neck is sore. And so with Scherzer going out, and especially with his delivery where he when his arms go over his head, he looks down, and then he's got such an aggressive delivery. I can see how that'd be pretty painful if you've got a stiff neck. So, yeah, hopefully he'll be back for his next start. If not, it's not really a big deal with such a big division lead. go take a look a little bit around the league. Baltimore, the other division team or the other DMV team, they beat Kansas City tonight 7-2. Dylan Bundy got the win, and Ian Kennedy got the loss for Kansas City. The Braves lost to the super team Los Angeles Dodgers 3-2. Kenta Maeda got the win. Sims got the loss. This was his MLB debut, and Kenley Jansen got his 28th save of the year, while Cody Bellinger and Bellinger homered for LA, and Camargo homered for Atlanta. Well, the Cubs, who the Nationals are playing next, are really beating up on the Diamondbacks tonight. They're winning 12-3 in the 6th inning. So, like I said, John Lester had his first career homer, and I guess the Cubs offense is really clicking on all cylinders. They've been hot lately, although they haven't played a whole lot of good teams. You know, they beat up on the White Sox, the Braves, the Orioles. I believe they played Cincinnati. So they have gotten really hot, and they're starting to resemble the team that they were last year when they won the World Series. That'll be a big test for the Nationals when they go in and play them at Wrigley Field after this Miami series. And it appears to be a preview of the NLDS, so that'll be a fun series to watch. The Mets tonight, they're currently losing to the Rockies 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Rockies just scored 3 runs in the 6th, and they have runners at first and second with 1 out. So the Mets are in a bit of a jam, already losing. See if Josh Smoker can get them out of the inning. And the Philadelphia Phillies, they're playing the Angels in LA. So it's a late game being on the West Coast. They're winning 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd right now. So we'll have to check on that score probably in the morning with this game ending so late. Back to the chat. Yeah, Max Scherzer said that he's all right. Said he's had this before, like Ricky said. Didn't feel great in the first. Felt worse before the 2nd inning. Home run celebration, not a factor. And yeah, it's good to hear that the home run celebration wasn't a factor, because you'd hate for your star pitcher to aggravate an injury while celebrating. But yeah, that's definitely good to hear that it's not a major injury. Check the minor leagues a little bit. Syracuse beat Pawtucket 10-2 as Emil Rogers in his first appearance with the Nationals. The Nationals organization got the win tonight. He went 5 innings, only allowed 2 hits, no runs, and with 5 strikeouts. And then Sean Kelly came in relief. He's, we know him pretty well from being with the team. He's down rehabbing. He threw 1 inning, allowed 1 hit. It was a homer, so he allowed 1 run, and he had 2 strikeouts. Then Neil Ramirez, who the Nationals recently signed to a minor league deal, I recently wrote about him. He threw a perfect inning tonight with a strikeout. So it's good to see that he's pitching well. Double-A Harrisburg Senators, they beat Reading 8-7. The Class A Advanced Potomac Nationals lost to Lynchburg 9-2. Class A Hagerstown Suns lost to Hickory 10-1. The Class A Short Season Auburn Double Days lost to State College 5-3. The Gulf Coast League Nationals got rained out tonight, and the Dominican Summer League Nationals beat the Dominican Summer League Rockies 5-4. Another thing that I kind of passed by is in the Syracuse game tonight, Neftali Soto hit 3 homers. So he now has 9 on the year. He's a good bat and power hitter as he hit 3 homers tonight. So maybe we see him a little later in the year as a September call-up, especially with all these injuries. It's seemingly someone new getting hurt every night. So he's a name to keep an eye on. He's having a solid year in AAA. Ricky said Soto has been good. Soto has been a good story this year. And Rogers gets his first win in the state since 2015. And yeah, Emil Rogers, who the Nationals signed to a minor league deal, he hasn't pitched, like Ricky said, in the major leagues since 2015 when he was with the Yankees. I think he's just kind of a depth move in case of an emergency. Throughout his career, he's 19-22 with a 5.59 ERA. He has 210 games pitched, 43 starts. So he has plenty of experience as a starter and as a reliever. And, he started tonight, got the win. So maybe we see him with, the Nationals right now. Their starting pitching options left in the minors are really down to A.J. Cole, Jacob Turner, and maybe Emil Rogers, with Austin Voth having a bad year, getting demoted to Double-A recently. And Ricky said Seth Romero pitched in that Gulf Coast League game. So that's good to see. Seth Romero, who was the Nationals' first-round pick this year, he was kicked off the team at Houston. This year he started after signing. It took him a while, and then he started in West Palm Beach, just getting back in the swing of things, but has since joined the Gulf Coast League team. So it's good to see him pitching, and maybe we see him. I know when he was drafted, people were saying maybe we see him in the bullpen this year. I don't think that's realistic, but maybe he progresses through the minor leagues quickly, as we saw with Cody Glover, and we see him at some point next year. So I think he's a name to keep an eye on. Hopefully he's able to kind of to behave off the field, not get into any more trouble as he did in college. And then so we'll get back into the game a little bit. And as I said, with the mismanagement, Dusty Baker, at points this year, he's really kind of, some of his moves have been a little head scratching, but last night it was a great move to let Gio Gonzalez attempt to get his no-hitter. But then after he gave up the hit, 1-0 game, was going to bring in Doolittle, who pitched very well. And like I said tonight, Matt Grace, while he doesn't really have much experience as a long man, he did begin his professional career as a starter, but has been a reliever for most of it. He's really the long man right now, and I think the Nats really need Jacob Turner to turn it around in AAA, and hopefully that AAA success will translate to Major League success, because he did look good at times with the Nationals and then really went downhill quickly. But I think the Nationals need a long man. Matt Grace, while he has done a good job, he isn't a long man. I think all these innings are catching up to him a little bit. So, yeah, I really think the Nats need Jacob Turner to improve quickly, or maybe A.J. Cole, who I think we'll probably see tomorrow starting. I haven't heard anything on that, but I think he's likely going to be the starter. Maybe if he's able to pitch well, once the Nationals get their starting pitchers back, he slots into a long man role, although he struggled at times in the big leagues. So, yeah, I think the Nationals really need a long man, whether that's someone in the minors or if you're able to get someone in the waiver trade. But without a long man, this bullpen is really going to, like, if your long man is Matt Grace and he's going 2 2/3 and he's unavailable, then the bullpen is really going to get fatigued quick, and that can really kind of have a snowball effect, and eventually your bullpen, everyone's fatigued, everyone's struggling, and you don't want that. So it'll be interesting to see if Rizzo is able to do anything to address that. Seth Ross said Scherzer said it was his first home run since high school, and he's going to make sure everyone hears about it, wants to make T-shirts to commemorate it. So, yeah, that's funny. Scherzer, while he is a good hitter, doesn't have a whole lot of power, and this was his first career home run. So that was a lot of fun to watch. And I'm sure he isn't going to let anyone forget about it. I saw both Adam Eaton and Scherzer's wife were tweeting that we're never going to hear the end of this, kind of like Kevin Millar, who homered in a professional game at like 48 a couple weeks ago. He's the unintentional talk. He's talked about it for 30-something straight shows. So probably have a similar situation with Max Scherzer. We'll take a look at what we had go up on the site today. I had an article go up about Brandon Kinsler being a huge acquisition. The Nationals traded for him yesterday. He's closed for Minnesota. He was an all-star for the first time in his career this year, but he isn't really a strikeout pitcher. He only has a 5.63 strikeout per 9. And typically you see closers, with the exception of Kinsler and Mark Melancon, maybe a few others, have like power stuff, able to get a lot of strikeouts. So maybe Kinsler slots in as the 7th inning man in front of Madsen and Doolittle. But whatever role he's in, the Nationals now have 3 elite relievers in the back end of the bullpen, and they have that three-headed monster that Bryce Harper desired. And so it should be a lot of fun to watch those 3 guys pitch out of the back end of the bullpen. And so I talked a little bit about what role he could possibly take and just what effect it's going to have on the pen. And then Ron Juckett had a piece about Gio Gonzalez spending a masterful season. So, yeah, he's had a great bounce-back year. He said his goal was to be an all-star. He got snubbed, I think, but he's pitched phenomenally. Last night was really his best start I think I've ever seen from him. He threw the 8 innings, took a no-hitter into the 9th. Couldn't quite get it, but this is a phenomenal outing. So he's pitched great this year. And then another thing I wanted to point out was that I noticed today is the depth. I've been saying this. The depth on this team is incredible with guys like Brian Goodwin, Michael Taylor, Wilmer Defoe. It seems like everyone who comes in to fill in for an injury has just played outstanding. And today, Mark Zuckerman of Mazin tweeted that Wilmer Defoe is included on the ballot for NL Player of the Month. And throughout July, he had a slashing of 373, 436, and 552. So Wilmer Defoe, who began the year in AAA, he's come up. He's played nearly every day with so many injuries. He's played shortstop. He's filled in at second, would give Dan Murphy some days off. He's played some third. He's filled in the outfield, although he hasn't looked great. He is an infielder, so you wouldn't really expect him to play too well in the outfield. So just his versatility, his willingness to play everywhere, and just what he's done to play has been outstanding. And everyone is taking notice now with him being on the ballot for NL Player of the Month. So while I don't think he'll get it, just getting the recognition of being on the ballot, I think is huge for him. And it'll be interesting to see how much he plays once Trey Turner returns from that broken wrist. So with his versatility, I think he still will get lots of at-bats, but obviously his playing time, barring anything unexpected, is gonna be decreased with Trey Turner coming back. And Ricky said Defoe saw 25 pitches tonight and 5 at-bats. And out of the leadoff spot, that's phenomenal because with Trey Turner in leadoff, while he is a great leadoff hitter, he's able to get on base a lot and create havoc on the base pass with his speed. He doesn't see a lot of pitches. So with Defoe seeing so many pitches in the leadoff spot, it gives the whole lineup more chances to see the starting pitcher, especially with a guy like Chris O'Grady, who the Nationals hadn't seen. That's outstanding out of the leadoff spot, and he did an excellent job tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see him more in the leadoff spot with Brian Goodwin in the 8-hole, so you're still getting production near the bottom of the lineup. And then another thing with Brian Goodwin in the 8-hole, if he's able to get on base and then the pitcher comes up, maybe you see Goodwin steal second, get bunted over to third. Maybe you see Goodwin get on, and then the pitcher bunts him over to second. And then with his speed, he's able to score pretty much on any base hit. So I like him in the 8-hole if Defoe is going to be producing in the leadoff spot because you really have production all throughout the lineup. Matt Wieters has been hitting in the 8-hole some, and he really hasn't hit too well since April. So with Goodwin in the bottom of the lineup, you have all your great hitters kind of scattered throughout the lineup, and there's no real weak spots. Seth Ross said, and the Nats would have won if Max's neck was not stiff, in his opinion. Yeah, you really don't know, but you do feel good about a 6-0 lead with your ace, who's arguably the best pitcher in the league, on the mound. So while we don't know what would have happened, it is hard to picture Scherzer going out and blowing a 6-0 lead in the second inning. And Judo Joker said, also, I said last game that I was hoping for a Scherzer homer during the five homer inning. Got his wish, albeit a game late. And yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun to watch the Scherzer homer. And the Nationals, or Mazin, put up a stat before he homered. He said he was, I believe it was 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position this year. So while he is a pitcher, so he's not going to hit as well as your position players, he's extremely clutch at the plate. He's a competitor. He wants to get that run in, and he has done an excellent job of getting the run in. So if I was right about the 5 for 9, now he's 6 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And that's huge to go out, especially a pitcher of his caliber, go out and give yourself a little run support to work with. And it's tough to hit Scherzer. So if he can get in some runs and then also go out and shut guys out, that's huge for the Nationals. And then Seth said, I'm a great host. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then Judo said, he is a great host, Seth, other than the fact that he blew this game. All my fault. Yeah, I apologize. I'll try to do better next time. So I'll be with you again this weekend. So hopefully I can get some wins in this big Cubs series. Nationals going to have a little momentum going into the postseason series. So I think that about covers it for tonight. It was a rough game altogether, but tomorrow's another day. I haven't heard who's starting for the Nationals, but the Marlins have Vance Worley, who was in spring training with the Nationals this year. He hasn't had a great year. We saw him pinch hit tonight. That was kind of funny, and so he's going. Hopefully, the Nats can hit him, and the Marlins bullpen will be a little fatigued for the night. Ricky said AJ Cole, so yeah, that's what everyone kind of expected. It hadn't been officially announced until now, so. AJ Cole, he has struggled in the past, but he's also had great games. I remember last year he pitched very well against the Mets at Citi Field. So hopefully we get the good AJ Cole tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to see. I guess if AJ Cole doesn't pitch well, at least the Marlins have Vance Worley going, and maybe we see another high-scoring affair tomorrow. So we'd appreciate if you'd like this video and subscribe to us on YouTube. If you'd give us a like on Facebook, You can follow us on Twitter at District on Deck. You could follow me on Twitter at DrewRD98. So Nationals play at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Ron will be with you for that one. And thank you for watching tonight after the rough game. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.